Filipino Americans are known to have a nurse or two in their family. I, for one, am a proud mother of a registered nurse. My daughter wanted to be a nurse because she wanted to help others, to make a difference. However, it wasn't until my daughter shared some disturbing stories about new graduate nurses being bullied by veteran nurses that got me asking, why? How can a caring nurse be a frightening bully? Bullying is toxic to our society. Is there anything the healthcare community can do to prevent it? Joining today's conversation on the joys and challenges of being a nurse are my co-hosts Rochelle Ocampo and Christina Pastor. Our featured guests are Laura Garcia, nurse clinician at NYU Langone Medical Center and clinical educator at NYU College of Nursing, and Joanne Paniqued, the founder of QD Nurses. QD Nurses, also known as Everyday Nurses, is an online community and information portal for nursing students and nurses and other healthcare professionals across the globe. I am Jen Fuhr, and welcome to Makilala. So ladies, the nursing profession was on spotlight because of what happened to Miss Colorado's talent portion. So my first question is, what is it about the nursing culture that gives rise to bullying?
Okay.
Too heavy for a first question.
I know. I've thought about the same question over and over. Well, it's more of nurses, actually. Well, nurses and not just the nursing profession, actually. It's all the professions. Everybody gets bullied, or at some point in our lives, we get bullied, or sometimes we become the bullies ourselves. And it has something to do with power. Of course, we want to be in control of the work situation or of our colleagues, perhaps. And so that's one of the things that becomes, or that gives rise to bullying, control. And the other thing is that perhaps we have flawed personalities. Some people,
Perhaps.
no, it's true, perhaps. Perhaps some people have flawed personalities, such as they want to, they are short-sighted, or they are so stubborn to the point of psychotic tendencies. Some of them are actually very, very, very nice. They tend to be nice, but deep inside them, they have this calculating, or very calculating, and they want to be in control and
kind of passive aggressive.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, Joanne, you're a new graduate, I could say,
Yes,
right?
and I've been in this for since April 28, 2014, so
Oh,
still
wow,
very
very
new
new,
to the
yeah.
profession. But I have faith in my supervisors, and I come to learn that I don't think that, they wake up one day and say, you know what, let me pick on her and whatnot. I just think that it's just such a fast-paced community, and there's just so much pressure, so they don't mean to pick on you. It's just that I'm just so inexperienced and whatnot, and they just want you to pick up the slack faster and to be able to take care of all these patients and worry about your newly graduate trying to be able to keep up. It gets so much pressure. So I do understand where they're coming from, and it can come off as bullying, like, come on, like, why can't you just keep this up? But at the end of the day, for the newly grad, you just got to keep your confidence and just keep believing in yourself. And
Have
that's just
you
something that
have
just
you
happens every
have you had an
day.
experience where you felt like you were being bullied?
Yeah, I have, because what happened is that I was born partially deaf in both ears, so I wear a hearing aid and I lip read.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
You lip read?
yes.
Do they know? Do your colleagues know?
The thing is, I try. It's because it's not so obvious. They don't
Okay.
see it as a disability sometimes. So, and the first thing that you get, and this has been going on since I was a little kid. So they would say things like, "Oh, you know, and they won't be vocal, and they take it as a joke, but at the end of the day, it's not a joke, and you know, it prevents me from doing other professions like the operation room
that's
and
right.
whatnot, because you know, you wear a mask, so like
that's
it's
right.
just something I just have to overcome, and I think it's just one of those instances that instead of feeling bullied, you just educate everybody, like
That's
your
true.
patients, your coworkers, and you just let them know, you know, this is just something that's been a struggle for me, and as soon as they can understand that, then you can see the compassionate side of them that all nurses have, and that's really where it comes from.
Well, Laura, you're a teacher, aside from just a nurse too, and among other things.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a lot of credentials. I mean, you had two degrees and then 2 masters, and now you're going for your doctorate. So, do you teach the nursing profession, the nursing community, that they have to be? I mean, they're supposed to be compassionate. So, how do you, as a, I guess, veteran, instill in that profession?
Well, in the workplace as well, especially the nursing or academic institutions, we tell our students that they have to be responsive to other people's feelings. And one thing that I have taught my students at the very beginning is that when you come to school, you have to respect each other's each other, and you have to nip it in the bud when you know that there are bullies in the classroom. And at some point, every day actually, at some point in my teaching career, I always tell them that don't give me the attitude. Don't give me any attitude because I have my own. So
Really?
that actually, yes, you have to nip it in the bud.
It's kind of hard
at the very
to
beginning.
tell, because you're like,
So you've actually said that.
I have actually said that, but I have to bring you back to the first time that I came to the United States. I was timid and shy and would not even open up. I wouldn't even say a word until being spoken to, or until they asked me a question. And then I learned that silence is not golden, as I was made to believe.
That is so
or I was
true.
made to brought.
Yeah. I think that's what immigrants learned when they come here.
Yeah.
Exactly. But no, I have changed that attitude, and I have kind of did some kind of communication repertoire. I learned to think aloud, speak aloud, read aloud, and I have volunteered to be to talk in public, to be a lecturer. And when I graduated with my second degree in bachelor's in communications, one of my professors asked me to teach, and so that gave my voice a resounding clang.
Yeah,
And
that's
when
right.
when that happened, I said, "Well, I can actually speak. I can actually stand up to doctors
people, yeah.
who are bullies themselves."
Yeah, that's right.
And so I also try to speak for my patients and speak for my colleagues who are unable to express themselves.
So when you were a young nurse, bedside nurse, you did bedside nursing, right?
I did.
Did you have the feeling that you were sometimes bullied?
Yes.
Okay, and how
Yes.
did you react to that?
Well, my first reaction was to,
Did you cry?
yes, I go home and cry. I cried and
A
cried.
lot of nurses went home and cried, and they resigned. Seriously.
Wait, how do you know this?
Because I did an article. I did an article about, it's a series of stories, and 60% of first-time nurses quit their jobs because of bullying.
because they said 85% of the nurses are verbally abused.
Abusive or abusive.
I mean, there's one thing though that Joanne mentioned. Maybe you just have to have a thick skin. Now, maybe you can't be too sensitive.
I think it's more, oh my God, there were some times where I felt like everything was going wrong. I let my coworkers down. My supervisor must hate me because I messed up. And, you know, I just,
All in one day?
I had to grow thick skin. I had to learn, don't take it personally. You know, like they don't hate you. It's just that they're thinking about the patient. They're not thinking about you per se. And you just have to learn that to never stop asking questions, even if you're asking the
that's
same
true.
ones over and over and over, and you're just annoying them, and you're just like, oh my God, why don't you know this by now? Like, I told you this, and I've heard that, but you just have to just keep that confidence up and learn to just take it for what it is.
But how do you learn that? How do you build that confidence and say, okay, I am a good nurse. I can take care of people. I am saving lives. Like, how do you give yourself that boost?
I'm just like, okay, you know what? All my patients are alive. I made it through the day.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah. You just keep your morals, and every day is just a new lesson, and you just gotta remember that your supervisors. I mean, my supervisors have been really awesome. You just gotta learn that. You just can't take it personally. They're thinking about their own stuff, their own stress, and that worrying not just about you, but everyone else as well. So
Do you see yourself ending up like them when you become a supervisor?
I actually am now.
Yeah. Do you talk to them that way?
Mm-hmm.
Do you talk to young people that way?
Yes, I try to. The thing is, now that I'm the charge nurse, I never go a day without telling each and every one of them before they leave, thank you, because that's a big part about being. Yeah.
Wait,
Appreciated.
what is a charge nurse?
A charge nurse is someone who is responsible to ensure patient safety, that everyone is safe, and that your team is doing their job, and just everything is going smoothly. And when things go smoothly, then you're responsible to delegate and make sure how to fix those complications.
It's also difficult because 91% of the nursing profession is female. So, can you imagine hormones at the same time and everything, being sensitive? It's a hard job. I mean, you work, 16 hours? I mean, I don't know if you have 12 hours or 8 hours straight. And then, I don't know, you got maybe 20-minute break. And even when you're on break, someone would ask you a question. I mean, how do you deal with it?
How do we deal with these
Working conditions.
working conditions? Well, we are actually programmed to work that way, or I know it might sound like mechanical, but yes, we are. And sometimes you're right, we go hours and hours without snacks or bathroom breaks, and so we nurses actually have the biggest bladder. I mean,
That's
for lack of a better term. But yeah, we're programmed that way, and we just have to, just like what Nike says, just do it.
What if the bully is a Filipino nurse too? How do you deal with that?
Is there
within
any
the
difference?
community.
Is there any difference?
There has to be a difference because we're from the same community. We shouldn't be talking that way to other people and to our own people.
Well, I think it's because I know we've always been branded as the meek ones. The Filipinos are the meek ones. But you know what? There is what we call some kind of a syndrome wherein you have been bullied in the past. And you carry that, you've learned that experience, and you thought that that's just the norm.
Yeah.
So now it's your turn. Where actually it goes both ways. You can either leave the job, and then go for a better or happier environment.
Go to another hospital. Yeah.
Exactly. Or just stay and be a bully yourself, or be a bystander.
That is so depressing.
It is,
Do you really
it is.
end up becoming a bully when you reach a certain point?
Sometimes
after a while.
it becomes like
The nature of the work?
nature of
Oh my God.
We're really
Maybe you
trying to
should
sell
go nursing.
We're really trying to sell this profession, guys.
Does the American public know this?
Yeah, but there's so many great
we
things
have
about
a
being
nice
nurse.
reputation.
Right.
You do. There's a reason why most.
But I don't
nurses
know
are
if they
Filipino.
know what's going on underneath.
No, but generally, I mean, not everyone gets bullied every single day. I don't think. I hope not. Tell me.
I truly believe in you. Not everyone gets bullied. And again, I had to go back to being able to speak ourselves. I think we need to be able to voice our opinion. We need to be able to stand up for ourselves and not to be put down by anyone.
Yeah.
The need to
We have to be
express
assertive.
ourselves, exactly, and the need to express ourselves is of paramount importance in this vocal world. We win or lose jobs not on how much we know or but on how well we are able to sell ourselves. So by the same token, if somebody tries to beleaguer us or with or put us down, we should not tolerate that in the workplace and in any place.
Yeah,
In schools, for example,
Right.
we have a zero tolerance for attitudes like this, or for people who bullies, or for people who abuse other people.
Do
So
you
what
get-
happens if you're being bullied? What is the steps of what you should do? Like, if someone that you could trust and confide in, like, what happens?
Well, I mean, like, I think it's all really in communication, because there's two kinds. There's the kind where you feel like you're being bullied, but they don't mean to, because they're just in a rush, they're stressed out, they have their own things to worry about, and then they take it out on you. So that's all in communication. You
So
just need-
after that, they apologize to you.
Yeah, but then there's the other really strong kind where it's just like they directly tell you, you know what, you're not a good nurse. You know, you're never gonna get fired. Now that's the extreme kind
would hurt me
where
so much.
if communication is not enough and they really have that kind of opinion on you, then take it to their supervisor, because to be talked to like that, that's not tolerated.
Exactly.
Not
And
even for
you
a
should-
second.
That's really
You
interesting,
shouldn't.
because there's a Nurses Unite recently. Like, the social media was flooded with Nurses Unite because of somebody from The View said something about Miss Colorado. Yet the whole nursing community came together and protested or fought against sort of the bully during the View. But at the same time, based on our conversation,
Yeah, I didn't
there's-
think it was bullying. Seriously, I didn't think it was,
Was it
bullying.
bullying?
I think it was a question of curiosity. I didn't know that nurses wear stethoscope. I think that's the offending statement, right?
It is an offending statement
Yeah.
because we have come a long way. Nurses have come a long way. We have evolved
It
from.
was, I think,
But there's different
a silly
forms of
statement.
bullying,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess.
There are a lot of forms of bullying, and that I wouldn't consider that a bully, or wouldn't consider that
Yeah,
bullying.
yeah, not bullying.
It's more of a lack of education.
Yeah, that's
of
what I was
what,
saying.
what
It's
we
more of
do.
an ignorant
know.
statement. Yeah.
Yeah,
But the whole profession united. So maybe the profession will get united to somebody who gets really bullied at work.
Was
That
it
is-
really
I think they just
offensive?
got offended.
Was it really offensive? That,
Well,
that
it
some people
depends.
did not know that nurses wear stethoscope?
Some people, we have each has our own opinion. And some would say, you know what, that is so very offensive. And then some people would say, oh, it's just a lack of knowledge.
Yeah, that's right.
And I, for one, would
I
just
read your post, by the way. I liked it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I truly believe that it's just we have to step back and say and really think about what happened. And I think one good thing that came out of this situation is that nurses came together.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
then, work things out, and then the public, we need to inform the public that there's so many things that we can do. Nurses don't just give bedpans. Nurses don't just rub people's backs.
So we should actually say
have-
thank you to Joy Bear for saying
Exactly.
that.
I know. Yeah, I am. And some of my colleagues are actually thankful, and some of my colleagues, of course, would say, you know what, it's really shocking. But they're not as offended when we sat down and really talked about it.
I mean,
So-
nurse's job is so important. I mean, I was telling my daughter, I mean, every day somebody's life is in your hands.
That's true.
You may not be in an operating room or whatever. I mean, you're talking to the person. They're telling you, you're the first person they see before they see the doctor. Like, they talk about, you go over the vitals, or how do you feel? I mean, if you write them the wrong thing, I mean, the doctor may missed it. And are there any situation where the doctor said something, diagnosed a patient, your patients, that you didn't agree? And then how do you deal with that?
You say,
Some actually do that. But I think we have to create a culture of respect,
Okay.
so that it's a vicious cycle. If you do bad things, then it'll come back to you. So we have to be respectful, and we have to be compassionate, not just to our patients, but to our co-workers as well, or to our fellow healthcare professionals. So I've actually had situations wherein doctors would like, actually say in their booming voice, "No, you're not supposed to do this," or "No, you're not supposed to do certain. You're doing something wrong."
In front of the patient.
In front of the patient.
Oh,
but that
gosh.
was a long time ago.
Yeah.
We've come a long way. And at that time, when I've learned my communication repertoire, I actually came up to the doctor and said, "I'd like to speak to you in private." No. So he was actually taken aback. He said something that was uncouth to me, but then my reaction was not to
engage in.
wild out.
yeah, to engage that. And so he actually stopped and said, "Okay." So we went to an office and then we talked about this. And I said to him that, I don't appreciate you talking to me like that in front of the patient.
Yeah.
And so if we have to be colleagues and we have to be working together for a long time, we have to be respectful.
How did
of
that
each other.
end?
We became good friends. And
Awesome. Yeah.
And I realized that this doctor actually, I was told, truth be told, this doctor had some kind of an admiration for not
you?
just for what I did.
Oh.
Because when I do things, I do it well.
Well, that's right.
So I love nursing.
Oh my God. I mean, it's the number one go-to profession of most Filipinos.
Why is that? I mean,
Because
Joanne,
I
I
guess-
actually wanted to ask you a question of like, what got you into this? Like, because I know that like our generation are kind of, we have a couple more options other than being a nurse, a doctor, engineer, or accountant. I mean,
Well, the thing is, like, my mother was the one who got me into this. She came to America to, find a better future, which is the typical Filipino
American
story
dream.
that you hear, yes. And, like, I wanted to follow in her footsteps, but also
she's a nurse
my
too,
own
yeah.
spin to it. And still, like, I'm still working toward the desire to achieve my master's, to still work in the technology field and still, put that all together. So that's where I'm heading to, and like still keeping her in mind because she's still the reason why I come into work every day and like
Is she still a nurse until
yes,
now?
she's still a nurse.
Where'd she work?
She works in Metropolitan Hospital.
Is that where you work too?
No, I work
okay.
all the way in the Bronx.
We could talk
okay.
more about it. Unfortunately, as always, we're always like getting into like the last few minutes of her show, and I would like to say thank you, Laura and Joanne. I mean, I want to say a few words about the nursing profession or anything, like encourage them. I mean, this is not all bad.
Yes, exactly. Well, in the past, as what my brother had said, this is the most feminine of professions created in the seductive, nurturing Earth Mother. Again,
I've never heard nursing associated with the word seductive.
There's more to I know, but there's more to nursing than that.
Yeah.
We assess, we save lives, and we evaluate.
Joanne, about you?
My words would be towards the nursing students. I'm still tutoring. I use kitty nurses to get my word around and to inspire others. And what I say is, even if you fail the NCLEX, just never give up. Always keep going. From the first day of nursing school to the first day of your job, every single day of your job, you're never going to be fully confident. Just always believe in yourself, respect others, and never forget to say thank you to your classmates and to your coworkers.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
Can I have one last question?
Go ahead.
Does it pay
Second.
well?
Yes.
Laura, one word answer. Does it pay well?
Yes.
Okay. Good, I'm done.
Rochelle, really quickly.
No, just I respect nurses very much, and there's a reason why Filipinas excel as being nurses because we're freaking awesome.
And seductive.
Apparently.
It looks good in the uniform scrubs, like Grey's Anatomy. Well, as we conclude today's episode, first of all, I want to say thank you very much for gracing our show, and I'd like to leave you with a few words from one of my idols, Mother Teresa. Let no one ever come to you without leaving better and happier. Be the living expression of God's kindness. Kindness in your face, kindness in your eyes, kindness in your smile. Together with our guests, our loyal supporters, the cast and crew, this is Jen Fuhr. We thank you for watching. Until next time, sa ulitin here at Makilala.